following is a production of the Department of Broadcasting and Journalism at Western Illinois University.
On Live at 4, how are local businesses dealing with lower student numbers? We've got some comments that may surprise you.
And the Illinois EPA issues Macomb a water violation notice. We find out whether this creates a safety issue for residents coming up.
And we woke up to some chilly temperatures this morning. News 3 team will have your weekend forecast coming up. News 3 starts now.
Live from Salee Hall in high definition. News 3 starts now.
We begin with a story we've been following in the city of Macomb. Good afternoon. Welcome to Live at 4. I'm Devin Brooks.
And I'm Zach Martin. The Illinois EPA has issued the city a water violation after a recent test showed high chemical levels in the city's water system.
Yeah, city officials say this happens all the time, but should residents be concerned? The Illinois EPA has issued Macomb a water violation after a recent test showed high amounts of pH, which is hydrogen, and chlorine in the city's water. Public Works Director Scott Coker says this is a small issue.
It's just not a normal level of chlorine or pH that you would see in normal environments.
Coker says it's the treatment process the city uses that is causing the problems.
We use lime in a treatment process to filter the water, which puts a high pH in the water that comes out, the wastewater from the plant. And then another treatment process, you use chlorine to disinfect some filters.
Roger Villadero teaches environmental studies and science at WIU. He says residents may taste chlorine in their tap water, but that's for safety reasons.
The chlorine's there for a reason, and that is to protect people who drink our water from bacteria.
Coker says the chemicals build up over time, but residents should not be concerned. So Coker says the main issues are for the high levels of pH and chlorine that end up in the Lemoyne River, which can cause issues for the environment and wildlife. The city plans to use reserve water funds to install a new water and filter system. The EPA has given the city a year to fix the problems, so the city hopes to have this done by May. So if your tap water tastes funny, officials say not to worry because that's normal. City officials say they will install a new water system sometime next year using the city's reserve water fund.
If you're headed north towards the Quad Cities next week, you could experience delays due to construction work. Interstate 74 will soon undergo nighttime construction. Lanes will be closed on October 16th for bridge work on the westbound interstate over Pope Creek, about 10 miles north of Galesburg. The Illinois Department of Transportation says crews will work on beam updates starting Tuesday at 10 p.m. Work on the bridge is expected to be completed by 6 a.m. the following morning. Drivers are advised to avoid the work area and use of alternate routes. Delays can be expected and motorists should allow extra time for trips through the area. For IDOT District 4 updates, visit the traveler information on gettingaroundillinois.com.
Animal lovers, you have the opportunity to support the dire needs of our furry little friends in our area. The Humane Society of McDonough County is hosting its annual Bricks Challenge to raise money for the well-being and care of animals at the McDonough County Animal Shelter and throughout the county. This is the 5th year for the fundraiser. Over the years, the Humane Society has raised around $46,000. It started in 2014 when a local man wanted to start a community challenge to help pay for the needs of animals in the county.
This fundraiser is extremely important because the ongoing costs of caring for needy animals in McDonough County is substantial.
The challenge runs through the end of October. Donations can be mailed to the information on your screen. You can also go to the Humane Society's website listed on your screen to donate.
Western Illinois University is not the only place. Western Illinois is not the only place that's being affected by decreased enrollment. Local businesses are also feeling the stress of fewer customers. I talked to business owners in Macomb dealing with the loss in business. See these cars? See this empty parking lot on the square? It's a sight that's become all too familiar for owners of businesses in Macomb. The biggest decreasement of enrollment at WIU has led to great concerns for how long businesses can stay viable.
I do think that it's going to start hitting their pocketbooks relatively soon if we keep seeing this enrollment decrease.
Like the Red Ox on West Jackson, Chubby's co-owner Tammy Yates is wondering what restaurant closes down next.
Yeah, absolutely, because we're a sales-based commodity. You know, without sales, everything runs tight. You have to have sales to pay your labor, your food costs, your liquor costs, your building costs, insurance, workman's comp, and when you don't have enough people coming in your doors to fill the seats, you're struggling.
Some have taken a notice on how bad it has been.
This year especially, I've noticed a big drop off. Last year I noticed it also, but this year especially is significantly slower as far as general traffic goes.
Others just hope their deals can bring students in.
Tuesday night Rock and Roll, the numbers are down this year for sure, but also we had some big playoff games on the Tuesday night. I mean, it's one night a week from 10 p.m. until midnight. And if the weather is too nice, then the kids don't come here.
Even with the negativity, owners are holding out hope that things will trend upward.
But it'll get better. It always does.
Do you think it will?
Yeah. I've seen Macomb go through times like this before. Not quite as drastic, but I've seen it, slow down before, and it does pick back up.
We apologize for the technical difficulties in that story. Area businesses say they're increasing specials to bring in more customers.
WIU's Performing Arts Society is celebrating the 10th anniversary of Beer Fest this Saturday, October 13th from noon to 5 at the Forum. Participants can buy a VIP wristband for $40, which includes flat rate sampling, access to VIP gourmet brats and sides, and bourbon tasting. Or guests can pay a $10 admission fee and then buy $1 beer tickets for sampling. There will be over 50 craft beers for sampling and local breweries. Funds raised through Beer Fest will benefit the Youth Performing Arts Series, Summer Music Institute, Community Arts Grand, and the WIU Arts Grant.
With news continuing to break on the closure of Tanner Hall, News 3's Ross Gunther has more answers to questions for incoming freshmen.
Starting next fall, Tanner Hall will no longer be the home for incoming freshmen, and current students are finding the news to be very shocking.
Initially, I was kind of surprised that Tanner Hall was going to be closing because when I first got here, I thought all the residence halls were full. Attendance, for the university, has been going down for the years. I didn't know that.
Even though Tanner Hall is closing, the memories from alumni and current students will still carry on. For parents of incoming freshmen worried about academics, Director of Residential Facilities, Joe Roselieb, says not to.
I don't see that as just because the building come offline that FYE is going to suffer. I see that being a little more centralized, a little more funneled. And yeah, do you lose a little bit of programmatic space? Yeah, but I think that you're going to have just as much in terms of student population. And I think it'll be more centralized, and I think it'll have its pros to it.
Any living learning communities will now be moved to Bayham.
All that will swing to to Bayless and Henninger. So we will emulate those as best as we can, but they will not be lost. We will just move them to different locations.
As the bell tolls on Tanner's time, it's in question to what change the university will make next. For News 3, I'm Ross Gunther.
News 3 will keep you updated on new developments as we learn more.
All right, coming up next on Live at 4.
Hurricane Michael is making its way through Florida. We have more on the storm after the break.
National Broadcasting Society helps the future of broadcasting get the tools needed to succeed in an ever-growing media world. At Western Illinois University, the professional connections students bring to our chapter of NBS have opened doors to networking possibilities that students otherwise wouldn't have. The opportunities we are given as students at WIU allow us to make connections today for success tomorrow.
They gave me Vicodin after my knee surgery. They kept prescribing it, so I kept taking it. I didn't know it would be this addictive. I didn't know how far I'd go to get more.
opioid dependence can happen after just 5 days. Know the truth, spread the truth.
Start a story. Adopt at theshelterpetproject.org.
I chose Western Illinois University because I could get involved right away. You're going to gain experience. I'm going to be able to just become successful right out the gate. I'll be a news reporter and eventually become a news anchor one day. I've always felt that as a strong speaker, I could be a voice for the voiceless, but as long as I continue to believe in myself, work hard, and show that I want to put my best foot forward, I think that anything is possible.
Live from Salee Hall in high definition. Live at 4 continues.
Self-defense is a skill no woman should put off learning. Office of Public Safety will offer the Rape Aggression Defense course starting October 15th. The 12-hour class will be held every Monday for the next 4 Mondays. Courses run from 4 to 7 p.m. and is free to join. Contact the number on the screen to sign up.
According to the National Sexual Violence Resource Center, 1 in 5 women and 1 in 71 men will be raped in their lifetime.
Due to this statistic, WIU is raising funds for the Western Illinois Regional Council Victim Services, as well as the Blue Light Emergency Call Boxes. To help raise awareness of sexual assault and domestic violence, the WIU SGA is hosting a run and walk highlighting WIU safety resources. The Superhero Blue Light Walk and Run will be held October 20th by Sherman Hall.
Registration begins at 8 a.m. and it's $25 per person. Visit the official website to register. As a bonus, first-year students who are enrolled in a University 100 class can participate at no cost as part of the first-year experience. Well, your child's health might be dramatically impacted by how much time they're spending staring at screens. Reed Binion has more in today's Health Minute.
Phones, computers, TVs, even the watch on your wrist. Screens have become a crucial part of our day-to-day lives, but are they hurting your child's development? According to a new study published by The Lancet, cutting back your kid's screen time to 2 hours a day or less can lead to better brain function. Limiting screen time isn't the only factor in cognitive development. Kids who slept well and were more active functioned better. Experts recommended 9 to 11 hours of uninterrupted sleep per night, and at least 60 minutes of physical activity a day, combined with cutting back on screen time. Those who met all 3 of those goals had improved perception and cognition. Health officials say all 3 impact cognitive development independently, but combining the 3 is key. For today's Health Minute, I'm Reed Binion.
Category 4 Hurricane Michael is now a tropical storm headed northeast across Georgia and into the Carolinas. Florida residents are beginning to clean up after Wednesday's devastation, and authorities are telling evacuees it's still not safe to go back to their homes. For more information on Hurricane Michael, visit news3wiu.com.
All right, well, fall is here and the days are getting shorter as temperatures are getting colder and cooler, right?
Yeah, to view the changing colors of autumn, a nature walk will be held at Argyle Lake State Park this Saturday.
Visitors will be able to explore the colors of autumn throughout the park. This walk is free and those attending are asked to meet at the park's visitor center at 10 a.m.
In other events this weekend, a family fall fest will be hosted at the Homestead in West Burlington. Activities at this fest will include live music, pumpkin painting, and 3-legged race and apple bobbing, to name a few.
Now, the events will be on Saturday at 1 p.m. Refreshments will be provided by Homestead. All right, well, coming up next, we've experienced a weather roller coaster with warm winds and at the beginning of the week, and waking up to a much cooler day, I would say cold day, this morning. What can we expect for the coming days? Jared Streeter has your 5-day forecast next.
Tuesday, November 6th, our state will be making some important decisions.
You might think it's not important,
or your vote doesn't matter.
But that's not true.
If you don't know how
or where to register,
visit vote.gov.
Make your voice heard.
Create your success at Western Illinois University. Automatic scholarships and affordable education and more are all yours at Western Illinois University. Apply today at wiu.edu.
Leah, did you put a new dent in that?
This one? No.
Were you texting and driving again?
Yes.
Hi, Leah.
Hi, Dad.
Sorry about your bumper.
I want to be able to stand in front of the camera and tell people the story of what the weather's going to be like that day, or be able to tell people, hey, there's something coming your way, you need to take cover, you need to watch out. And being able to stand in front of a camera and tell not only people who are directly involved but their family members as well, like, this is what's going on. It's been very important to me because, you know, being in those situations where you are relying on the news to tell you what's going on, I like to be a part of that and helping people with that.
Good afternoon, Macomb. As right now, our temperatures outside are about 48 degrees. Our winds are a little high right now, so it's making it feel a little bit more brisk than it actually is. About 17 miles per hour the winds. Our wind gusts are actually getting up to about the 20, so it's making it feel much, much cooler than it actually is right now. A little bit more of an update on Hurricane Michael. It is no longer a hurricane. It is a tropical storm currently. Right now it's in North Carolina, making its way off of the coast, so we are no longer going to have to worry about it in the next, I'd say, about 24 hours. Moving on right now, back to Macomb. Our average highs around this time of year are about 67 degrees. Our low, about 43 degrees. Our record high is 89 degrees. Our record low is 20 degrees. Here's our surface map. As we can see, this high pressure system right here moving its way across the nation, moving Hurricane Michael off the coast, making it nice and dry right now. But with that dry weather means that it's also going to be very, very cool and very dry for us. As you can see, the high pressure system moving its way through, which makes it not as cloudy in the Illinois area. And also not much going on the radar right now. No rain currently. Our regional temperatures right now, Macomb, we're going to see we're at 48 degrees. In Peoria, we're up at 51 degrees right now. And then over in the Quincy area, we're up in the 50s. Tonight, however, we're going to see 32 degrees tonight, which also puts us in a frost advisory for this afternoon. Quincy, 37 degrees. Burlington, 34 degrees. Tomorrow, as a high for Macomb, we're going to have 45 degrees, Peoria 46, and Keokuk, we are going to be about 46 degrees as well. And for tomorrow night, Macomb, we are also going to be in about the 33 degrees, Peoria 34, and Keokuk in 35. Macomb, for tonight, we're going to be clear with 32 degrees. Wind's going to be northwest at 6 miles an hour. Tomorrow we have a chance for rain in the afternoon, high of 45 degrees, winds being at 7 miles an hour. And for our 5-day forecast, on Friday we have a high of 45 degrees, low of 33 degrees. Sunday we are a high of 54, low of 41. Sunday we are going to see some more rain, 47 and 31 degrees as the low. On Monday, it is going to be 47 degrees, but it's going to be a cool return when we come back at 27 degrees that night. And on Tuesday, it is going to be 55 degrees and a low of 33 degrees on Tuesday.
All right, well, we want to welcome you to the team, Jared,
Thank you.
for your first debut. You've been around behind the scenes, but not here, right?
I've been hiding in the back.
Yeah. Well, outside, though, it's downright cold.
Oh, yeah.
It's a shock to the system.
Yeah, you walk outside, and like I said, it's 48 degrees, but when that wind blows through you, it goes directly through you, and it's brittle. It's bitter.
It is. All right, thank you.
All right, thank you, Jared. Zach, WIU's got a big game this weekend, don't they?
Yeah, Zach, that's totally right. Coming up next on Live at 4, fall temperatures are cooling down just as weekend action begins to heat up. First, the Bushnell West Prairie Sparklones are one win away from being knocked out of the IHSA playoffs. What does their Friday night matchup look like when they host Astoria VIT? And the Western Illinois Leathernecks, like Zach was saying, have had potent offense all season long. But how will they fare when #1 ranked North Dakota State team comes to Hansen Field? Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back in 2 minutes with sports. I started to think about doing broadcasting my freshman year. I started calling some football games for the freshman football team. My high school didn't really have a broadcasting program like some do, and so a lot of my stuff was just PA for different sports, for basketball, for volleyball. And my mom signed me up for a visit to come to Western on a Discover Western Day. And I walked through the doors of the rec center, and Buzz Hoon shook my hand, said, "Zach Stone, I've seen all your footage, I know who you are, and you belong here." And that's what really makes WIU feel like home.
Disaster tips from the objects left behind.
My home wasn't insured, but you can check your insurance policy now to make sure you're covered. Oh.
My savings are lost, but you can put money aside and plan for unexpected disaster costs.
We're lost forever, but you can scan important documents now so they survive.
For more tips on how to prepare, visit ready.gov.
The first time I met Morris, the door flew open and I got this larger-than-life personality talking at the top of his lungs.
Hey, how you doing today?
Oh man, I totally forgot. Hold on, let me get this for you. Just had a magnetic energy. So I thought, all right, we're definitely gonna be friends.
Drop off a warm meal and get more than you expect. Volunteer at americaletsdolunch.org.
America, let's do lunch.
Why I love to do sports anchoring? Because, it's talking about sports. I decided to come to Western because I wanted an experience that wasn't like some other schools. I did color commentary for one volleyball game. I was terrified. I never did any broadcasting in high school, but when I was talking, it was all, staggered, and I had no idea what I was saying. And now I've done so many different games as a color commentator, play-by-play, now sports anchor. Every show and every game, it gets easier and easier, and I get more comfortable doing it.
I learned. Welcome back to Live at 4. I'm Zach Stone. The Macomb High Bombers have been on a skid in recent weeks. A thumping last week at QND leaves the Bombers with a couple of questions heading on the road. The Bombers will have their hands full in this one. Nearly 4 hours of bus ride for the Richmond Burton Rockets, who actually play in my high school conference. When they arrive tomorrow in Macomb, the Bombers better be ready to go because they've got multiple backs to worry about. A 1-2 offensive punch behind fullback Mike Kaufman and running back Jimmy Horner. The Bombers playing for pride in this one as they've already been bumped out of playoff contention this season. Again, Richmond Burton, the member of that Kishwaukee Valley Conference that I grew up in, just like my Mater Woodstock High, they head on the road tomorrow night. Kickoff for that one is set for 7 p.m. at Bombers Stadium. And the Sparklones of Bushnell West Prairie are still in an end-of-season dogfight for a playoff spot. At 3-4 on the season, David Roddice and his team will need to lock it up at home when they host Astoria VIT. On the outside, looking in at the IHSA playoffs, the Sparklones have a lot to play for. For senior quarterback Charlie Hensley, tomorrow will let us know whether these next weeks against Lewiston will be for one of those playoff spots. David Rodison will hope that his team can have a similar result as Illini West, who stomped the Rebels last week 70-6. The Boys of Fall are finally going to get some fall weather, a chilly one at home for the Sparklones tomorrow night. Kickoff to keep BWP's season alive is tomorrow night at 7 p.m. And after weather got in the way last Friday night, News 3 Game of the Week will be on the road again tomorrow night. No Connor Fredlin for me tomorrow night, but go ahead and join me with Brendan Reedy, host of the WIU Coaches Show, and he'll be at the desk. The 7-0 Farmington Farmers on the road to take on the A-Town Tornadoes. Join us on Facebook for that pregame. And Western Illinois football at home this weekend in a contest that could put an early season dagger in Jared Elliott's first season as head coach. The Leathernecks have battled all season long. Whether they go in front early or go down by a score, this team lives up to the motto that Elliott preaches, relentless effort. Against the Redbirds last weekend, the Leathernecks fought hard down to the wire, but ultimately fell 33-17. The Bison will be led by quarterback Easton Stick. Not dominant with the arm, but he makes up for it on the ground. His 16 touchdowns this season have really propelled NDSU all season long. That's a huge reason that they're 5-0. And on the other half of that tandem is running back Bruce Anderson. He nearly eclipsed 500 yards on the ground, and behind his offensive line, he's nearly averaging 7 yards a carry. Two very tough players for Western to have to keep an eye on. The toughest game on Jared Elliott's schedule so far for this team, #1 ranked North Dakota State takes a trip from Fargo to Hanson Field. Late game kickoff under the lights. Join the sports broadcasting crew at 6:07 for kickoff on Saturday. And the WIU women's soccer team got a strong result earlier this week while on the road at Northern Iowa. No highlights from that one. Some ugly weather forced the women inside for the full 90 minutes. But even that would not be enough, though, as neither team were able to convert in regular time. Then just over 5 minutes into overtime, Madeline Edwards breaks free and slots one home for the only goal of the contest. And Edwards was a player who was touted early on to make some things happen for WIU. Her second goal in 2 consecutive games puts the Leathernecks over Northern Iowa. And as we delve deeper into the MLB playoffs, one Leatherneck is starting his baseball career on the other side of the world. Mitch Ellis, a 2-year starter for WIU, will join the Brisbane Bandits in the Australian Baseball League. The Diamond Creek Australian native will have the chance to represent his country at the U23 level as well for the Baseball World Cup. During his time with the Purple and Gold, Ellis batted .315 with 36 runs and 27 RBIs. That's sports. Final word is next.
I learned broadcasting for 3 years in high school, so towards my senior year, I was pretty much invested in wanting to pursue a career. And I do enjoy it now, but I'm searching for a way to make sure that it's something that I want to pursue after college. That way, I'll be able to wake up every day and say, this is something I want to do, this is something that I love, this is something that I can teach, I can spread, I can affect people with.
Your girls have been with you through every moment of your life. They were with you when you felt unbreakable, and with you when you had your heart broken. They were with you when you shared your love with the world, and with you when she became your world. They're still with you right now. But how well do you know them?
I was living in a shelter, juggling 3 jobs. I had to be resilient. That's something that you can't teach.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies. Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
Fun fall activities are here. News 3 and friends got an inside look at the Hornfield Campus Corn Maze. Hornfield Campus Program Director Mindy Pfeiffer is excited for the maze to be reopened after not having it last year.
The Corn Maze opens this weekend and will continue to stay open every weekend until the 27th. Those under the age of 16 must be accompanied by a parent or guardian.
I know I went out there yesterday with everyone else. I know you all weren't able to make it, but it was just a muddy mess.
Yeah, I heard you got pretty messy.
I heard you had a little bit of cleaning up to do. Because it's like we're all trying to dodge, you know, the mud. There was none of that. But I guess that's because the ground is still saturated.
Yeah,
all the rain we've had.
Yeah, it has been raining a little bit. Last night it rained. Looking back a little bit closer for this weekend, on Friday we're gonna have a little bit of rain in the afternoon. High of 45, low of 33. Saturday we're gonna have a high of 54, partly cloudy, and Sunday it is gonna be a nice 47 degrees and a low of 31.
Well, that's all for us today.
But we are online all the time. Stay up to date with us, news3wiu.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Just search our handle, News3WIU. You can also search for us on YouTube and subscribe.
Thank you for joining us this evening.
From all of us here at News 3, have a good night, Macomb.